Welcome back to where we left off last time in the Long Dark. Um, just came back from preparing a cup of tea, so if you're following along, I do recommend that you have the opportunity, make some tea. Well, get some other drinks. It's a good idea to be keeping yourself hydrated. Because after the heart pounding experience from the last episode, boy did I need some tea or something else to drink to help calm me down. And of course, at the end of the last episode, all I had was a cold piece of tea, so finished that cup of tea and started the process of making another one. So, following along, I do recommend that you get yourself a cup of tea for the viewing experience. At this point, we're going to start making the trip over to Coastal Highway to complete the production of those arrows. Looks like this is actually a good time to take the trip. We got a fairly warm, early night. And that means there's a decent possibility that I can get most of the way to Coastal Highway, not having to take a rest to warm the character up, which is a good thing. So the plan for this part is hopefully get all the way to Quonset, and maybe we have a little bit of time, I'll actually make the arrows in this part. In the next part, if I haven't made the arrows, we'll be making the arrows. And then I'm going to investigate the coastline to see if there's any salt deposits that can be harvested. Because if there are, I might begin making preparations to set up a curing box somewhere on the coastal highway. I'll have to go back and pick up the woodworking tools from Mystery Lake, but that's only really a thing I need to do once I know I can make the box itself. So I can do the things like gathering the cedar and gathering the salt before we go get the woodworking tools. Apparently don't see the bunnies this far out. If we get lucky, we might see some more birch bark as we take this trip. There's a couple pieces when we came in here for the deer hide. Oh, there's a piece. And the recovery is going a little bit slower, obviously because I had the close call with the wolf in the last part, where we almost died. So, starting to get back to sort of the condition I'm comfortable with after that scrape. And arguably with that scrape situation, I wanted to be closer to this hit points before I ran into the wolf, so it wouldn't have been as close anyway. One more place to check for birch bark before I get into Coastal Highway. I don't remember all the places where birch bark can spawn on Coastal Highway. I know there's like a birch bark forest in Pleasant Valley that at some point we might go check out for birch bark. But this area sometimes has a little bit, which is why I've taken this slight detour to check it out. Haven't seen any, but that doesn't... Oh! Speak of it and you may find it. I only found one piece, though. I suppose kind of the one piece I found earlier is a whole tea, so... Hello, rabbit. We're not hunting rabbit today, so you'll be safe. In fact, at this point, I basically don't hunt rabbit, I just lay out snares. The snares catch the rabbits for me. I got the snares back at camp office. Which, to be fair, if I do find a salt deposit near camp office, I should probably set up the snares and feed a bunch of rabbit meat into the drying box. Because with the patch that added the woodworking tools, they did add salt deposits. Which I think may actually be infinite, so there might be situations where you can basically get infinite salt. It's just holing at places. So I'm not sure if the deposits are infinite or if they have a respawn timer or something. Because I've barely interacted with them. I saw the deposits in the cave on our way back from Bleak Inlet, and that's all I've seen is salt deposits. And obviously in that situation we were half dead, so I didn't feel that was a good situation to be interacting with the salt deposit to figure out how they work. Kind of hoping we'll find some in Coastal Highway. Because Coastal Highway is a place where I can reasonably hunt bear. Well, feeding a bunch of bear meat into a salt curing box sounds like a good plan for travel meat. And I have a suspicion because salt is associated with seawater. Because to be fair, the cave we found salt deposits in were close to the sea as well, right? So I suspect salt is going to be mostly associated with coastal caves and not necessarily be everywhere, which will be sort of inconvenient for mapping the map, but this is the Raven Falls trestle. It is the trestle that has the hole in it, if this is your first time watching me cross this trestle. If you're following along on your own game, I recommend it not being an auto-walk going across this bridge. I'm not on auto-walk, I've just been holding down W this entire time. Though sometimes I will use auto-walk. I tend to use auto-walk when I want to actually walk straight lines. I'm not searching for such. But because you have to do that sort of swivel, cross a bit of the rail, cross the tide to get the other rail to cross without falling, you don't want to be on auto-walk because that can be a bit hard to do walking at a constant forward speed. That is a location where if you fall off, you will die. They have death walls that will instantly kill you. So you don't want to fall off there. I have not fallen off there, but, you know, my fear of falling in real life is enough to keep me from jumping off of high places in this game. A bunch of cattails I don't need. So, which way do I want to take under Quonset? I think I'm more likely to run into a bear or timber wolves if I go down the river path. So I'm going to take the road. That probably does mean I do want to start sprinting here, because I'm about to get cold and start taking huge damage from that. I do know I have meat at Quonset, so I don't have a problem with burning off calories, because we can arrive at Quonset hungry, and we'll be fine.
Goddamn freezing.
I'm going to pass the first cabin, I'm going to enter the second cabin. And I'm going to sleep for like 6 hours in the second cabin. Which will put us in like early morning. Basically, I don't have any more time to... I suspect by the time I warm up, the temperature will finally go, and we'll be dealing with different weather. Even if I took a 1 hour rest, I think the weather would turn in that 1 hour, knowing my luck. Otherwise, I'd probably try pushing through the rest of the way to Quonset, just take the minimum enough to warm up. So basically, yeah, when I go into this cabin down here, basically I have two choices. I could rest for an hour to warm up, or I can sleep for 6 or 7. I suppose I could split the difference. I can come in here, I can pass time for an hour in the bed, which would basically be the same as sleeping, but not sleeping. And if the weather turns terrible, I can take the 6 hours sleep. Yeah, that would classify as the terrible weather I don't want to deal with. Yeah, so some stuff shifted during one of the during the patch. It looks like. I was trying to figure out if that was a tin can that loaded partially into something, but no, it was. I think it was just a decoration that moved. So I think take. We'll tell him he can go for 10. He's not going to sleep for 10, but we'll give him as much of the 10 as he's willing to take. And it's still an aurora. Okay, we got Scurvy Risk, which isn't a problem. We're close enough to the coastline. We'll be able to clear that pretty quickly. I obviously don't want to go out in the aurora. That sounds like a good way to get into trouble. Do you want to do any repairs? Not really. But I've got the time, and I've got the time I should do some repairs. Okay, so the aurora has passed because the night is over. The aurora effects are hanging around because it's early dusk. Well, no, dawn. It's early dawn. But the aurora animal should have despawned by now. And it's cold. Cold, windy, and clear. So if it wasn't for it being windy, it'd be good mapping weather. We're now at a much more comfortable health level. So, to be fair, it wouldn't be the end of the world if I ran into a Aurora Wolf right now. We just shove an axe in his face. And we weren't able to safely disengage, but I'd prefer not. Because it's always one of those events where it always puts my heart in my throat. Nice views. Maybe I'll try to actually put a good thumbnail on this video. Get a Aurora view. Let me try to grab one of these scenes in here if I remember. I'll probably forget, but if I don't, then that'll be what the thumbnail is. Now I can hear an Aurora Wolf off in the distance. But it was pretty far off, so we should be safe for the rest of the descent. We're cold, so I'm going to duck into the next warm place to warm up. We should be able to complete the rest of the jog after a quick warm up. over to Quonset.
I'll die if I don't warm up soon.
Because after just getting this condition back, it'd be a shame to lose it again quite so quickly. So, otherwise I'd probably push through Quonset. So we'll take a quick warm-up in the cabin here, the trailer cabin here, at the log sort. Given my fatigue level, I'm actually just going to pass the time until we're warm instead of sleep. Partially allows us to take something a little bit less than an hour as well, which I think will be good for getting where we want to fast. It's nicely warmed up a bit. Instead of 3 echelon down, it's only 2, which means we're between minus 10 and minus 20. That's a nice view. That probably won't end up being the thumbnail, though. I'll probably, if I do take a specialized thumbnail, I'll take one of the Aurora thumbnail pictures. But yeah, this game has nice views when it isn't throwing horrible weather at you. We had an Aurora not swap over, which is why that wolf was running around like a crazy for a moment there. Let's try to get out onto the ice to avoid that wolf. Especially on Stalker difficulty, the Quonset can be a bit coated with wolves. Interloper isn't usually that bad. Interloper is pretty safe to get in and out of Quonset. And yeah, it looks like we'll probably be at Quonset in time to do the arrow assembling this episode. Hopefully we'll still end up doing the looking for salt next episode. This is the coastline, so I'm expecting there to be some salt deposits around here. They're probably not as easy to find as they are in Bleak Inlet, because this is an easier zone. So I can imagine them being harder to locate.
I need to find some place to escape this cold.
But at the same time, I do suspect there probably is something out here if they've put salt on the map. And I know they put salt on the map, so just finding where the deposits are and figuring out how they work, how quickly they run out and stuff like that. Oh, we got deer in the Quonset area?
So cold.
We got literal deer in the Quonset area.
Just want to lay down for a bit.
Oh, got the wrong arrow. Whoops. Got the wrong arrow loaded. Grab my fire and one back. I spooked it. Spooked it and had the wrong arrow loaded. Alright, well, I'm too cold to be out here faffing about. Get quality tools in. Got a bunch of sticks here. I don't think I have any cedar here yet. We're gonna craft. Gonna use the quality tools. Do I use the quality tools or do I use the simple tools? I think I'm gonna use the simple tools. Because I'm not in a rush to do this quickly. Am I going to sit here for that long? I think the answer is yes. We get out, get some warmed up a little bit while we were contemplating what we're going to do, and then realized I should probably eat before we do the crafting. The character doesn't end up hungry in the middle of crafting the recipe.
Too cold to think.
Yeah, and I don't know after the wildlife refresh if the moose is still here. It'd be nice if the moose is still here, because this is a convenient moose spot for me. Because I know how to hunt moose here. Maybe not the best at hunting the moose, but I know how to hunt the moose here. The moose is a good source of meat. Might not be that interested in it for its crafting components at the moment, but it is a good source of meat. Granted, there's also bears nearby that are reasonable to hunt. They're not quite as easy as the ones that Mystery like to hunt. Okay, so we're full on water. I'm going to assume we can sleep for 10 hours, that we can craft for 9 and not go completely dehydrated. And I'm wrong about that. We'll take a little weakness damage from dehydration, but that'll be fine. And there we go. Bunch of arrows. Archery 4. I obviously don't need that many arrows on me. We'll put back the one shaft. And yeah, I only want like 5 arrows on me, so we can leave 6 of them behind. Simple, 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 simple. Okay. So we got 11 brand new arrows for when we need them. We'll leave the feathers behind as well. And then we'll put the toolbox back on the desk. Weather's reasonably nice, so we can go out, eat more moose meat. And then I'll probably, because the weather is nice, I'll probably take the trip down to the coastline. In preparation for looking for salt and fishing. Here's a little fatigued, but that's not a problem because we got a low enough inventory content at the moment. That's not going to be a problem. Oh. The deer is back. I don't have archery 5, so I can't shoot the bow from crouch. I can get pretty close. Uncrouch, take the shot, which is what I'm trying to do right now. see if I can actually hit a deer from this range. And the deer spooks. Yeah, someone who's actually good at shooting probably would have hit from that range. I'm not, as you can probably tell. Well, there was another deer. Well, I could hear another deer. Whether it ran away when I started shooting as well is a different question. The visibility is starting to go to bad places, but careful, that shouldn't be a problem. Because we've got deer in the area, not wolves in the area. You hear it. Oh, there it is. Ah, missed. Alright, I think it's time to give up on trying to hunt those deer. Oh, never mind. There the deer are. Nah, now they've really run off to the far corners of the world.
Can't feel my feet.
No. Just gonna have to retrieve the arrow, that's not worth my effort. Okay, let's get over to Misanthropes. Hopefully without running into a wolf or the bear. So I see the wolf ahead of me, so let's try to path around the wolf. Hopefully not run into the bear in the ensuing avoidance. I see the bear. We're not going to hunt the bear in this part and the next part, but hunting the bear wouldn't be the worst idea for me, especially if we find out that there is a way to find salt in the biome.
Wait. I'm so cold, I'm warming up again.
So I'm either going to go around that end of the island, or I think I can go up about there. That bit, if memory serves, is a bit too steep. So we're going to sort of try to sneak behind the bear here. Granted, the bear's not paying any attention to us, so we're not really sneaking. We're just kind of walking with an intent to not be spotted by the bear. Yeah, so no salt in the bear's den, but that would have been a weird place to have salt be. Don't think the bear would sleep on salt.
Feels like night is coming.
Just looking at the time, I am going to go ahead and put the cut, after I put the character to sleep, in Misanthropes. And we'll pick up in the next part looking for salt along the coastline. So if you've been watching on YouTube, I hope you've been enjoying it. There should be at least a part up tomorrow. If you want to see more, because I am going to record one more recording session today. Whether or not there'll be a part up after that will depend on how the recording session works out for the next couple days. Oh, I have no water. I have no water, so that means I should not sleep for 10 hours. Let's do 8. I think it can go 8. You might get a little bit of a spoiler when it comes out if I'm thirsty or not. Close enough. Well, I hope you've been enjoying it. Catch you in the next part. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. I'm going to take a short break and I'll be right back and record the next part. So catch you in the next one.